Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. So today's video is about my pantry staples right now. So pantry staples is one of those things I feel that change every 4 or 5 months. I don't know, sometimes with my staples I find I'm loving something for so long and then all of a sudden I just go cold turkey and I don't want a bar of it anymore, and then I change it up again. I am going through what my golden beacons are for gluten and dairy free right now. There are a couple of things that I actually have run out of that I need to go to the shop, so I may just add little screenshots from the Coles or Woolies website, whichever shop I buy it from. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to get straight into it, but before I do that, please make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button because it really supports my channel. Alright, first things first. My first pantry staple. Get my little list out. Maver's protein peanut butter. I'm dead. I literally use this peanut butter so much, it's insane. I use it in my baking, in my smoothies. I have it on gluten-free bread, like toast when I feel like it. It has just changed my life. A nutritionist I was seeing for a while, her name is Susie. She put me onto it and I am just in love. I get this one from Coles. I usually buy a couple when they're on special and just stock up, and they are amazing. I literally, me and my sister, froth them. Definitely would recommend. I think it tastes like normal peanut butter, but when I was talking to my mum about it, she was like, oh, it's because you're being healthier now and you don't need as much sugar as you used to, so obviously this tastes good to you now, but when you're eating normal peanut butter, it might not have. So try it and let me know what you think. Secondly, so if you follow me on Instagram and you've been here for a while, you would have seen that I got an order from Topeka of lean protein powder, some BCAA powder, boost powder, and coconut water. And I don't really like plugging things before I know what they're like, and I definitely have been liking their protein powder. So number 2 on my pantry staples right now is Topeka salted caramel protein powder. I put it in my smoothies. I don't have a smoothie or a smoothie bowl without it now. It's nice and it's rich and it really enhances my smoothies, and I feel good after consuming their products. I tried whey protein for a while, so that is with cow's milk powder in it, and I used to feel really icky after having it, but I don't really get that with pea protein, so that's why I switched. And Topeka's is gluten and dairy free, so it's in line with what I'm doing right now. So I would definitely recommend Topeka, and I like the other stuff I order from them as well. I actually am going to get their health bundle with the spirulina and stuff. That's my next purchase on my budget. So yeah, would 100% recommend. Let me know how you like it if you get some. Number 3 is coconut flour. So I froth coconut. I love coconut so much. I eat coconut oil, coconut flour, coconut itself, descanted coconut. I put it in everything. So when I decided I wanted to try being gluten and dairy free, again, I'm not completely gluten and dairy free. Sometimes when I go out with my friends, I do eat gluten and dairy. But besides the point, when I made this decision to be, let's say, gluten and dairy conscious, I was like, what am I going to do about flour? Because obviously you don't really think about this stuff when you eat gluten all the time. I use coconut flour now in my cooking, sort of as regular flour. And then while we're on this train, I use the Organ self-raising flour. So Organ has some good, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Organ, or however you're supposed to say it, sorry if I'm not saying it right, has some good gluten and dairy-free products. I also eat some of their cereals, and I really like the products that they provide. I don't really notice the difference in gluten compared to non-gluten anymore. The only thing that I've not quite found yet is a good, gluten-free wrap. If that makes sense. They all taste a little bit powdery to me. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting off track. So yes, coconut flour and self-raising flour from Organ, I think. Yeah, those are my two favorite flours right now. So that's what I use in my baking and my cooking when I need to use flour, because I'm trying not to eat gluten right now. Number four. Number 4/5, because I think there was 2 in that last one. But anyways, number 5. The liquid coconut oil from Cocoa Earth. So I actually tried this when I was staying with my mum during all this COVID stuff, and she just brought it home with the shopping. I was like, oh, I saw this, would you like to try it? And I love it. Like, I use it in replacement of olive oil now. So if I need to like bake my sweet potato or cook, like fry an egg or do something in the saucepan that needs a little bit of like lubrication, I'll use this instead of olive oil now. So it's basically just like normal coconut oil, but I think in the liquid form, like you don't have to melt it. So I have the jar of coconut oil and then I have the liquid coconut oil. So like I said, your girl loves some coconut. I recommend this one completely. I think it is a little bit more expensive than just like your regular olive oil, but I think it's worth it. And number 6 is buckwheat. Oh, I am obsessed with buckwheat. I could eat it all day, every day. I think it's actually just I'm obsessed with carbohydrates, let's be honest. I love sweet potato, love buckwheat, love quinoa, love pasta. I just love anything that makes me feel full. I like comfort food, let's say that. So, buckwheat. You do have to cook it right though, otherwise it does taste a little bit like dirty. That's the best way. Like earthy, that's better. It tastes a little bit earthy. So I make sure I rinse it and then I cook it with like some vegetable stock to give it a little bit of flavor. And while we're in the grain sort of carbohydrate region, obviously I love me some quinoa as well. I cook quinoa and buckwheat almost every week when I food prep. I have been enjoying having quinoa and buckwheat more recently than rice, because I don't feel as heavy after eating it, because I will admit, I think it may stem from like a childhood thing, but when I eat a big meal, like a big carby meal like pasta or rice, I just want to go to sleep. So I like to eat my carbohydrates in the morning and at lunchtime, so I can burn the energy that the carbohydrates is giving me before I go to sleep. So usually I don't have many carbs at nighttime. Yeah, I don't want to be falling asleep in the middle of the day. So I've been finding that having these like lighter carbs that I can throw in a salad has been helping me to stay awake. Anyways, now we've just got some honorable mentions. First off, we've got the lovely sweet potato. I eat sweet potato every week without a doubt. I used to be obsessed with potatoes, but honestly, sweet potatoes are a treat for me now. And I never thought I would be one of those people who would be like, oh my gosh, so lucky I get to have some sweet potato today. But I've turned into that person. But I love that I've turned into that person, because I get so excited when I get to eat these foods that I can look forward to and make me feel good and strong and happy. So sweet potato is definitely one of those foods for me. Gets me revved. And with sweet potato, often I have to season it. So seasoning goes hand in hand with these sweet potatoes. So my favorite seasonings right now are thyme, rosemary, paprika, chili, and I like the Moroccan like spice mix. And then you can't forget the main event, salt and pepper. I love salt. I love well-seasoned food. I like eating interesting food. Like, honestly, my biggest pet peeve in life is when someone serves me a bowl of soup that's like cauliflower or broccoli and there is no seasoning in it and it just tastes like vegetable mush. Add some spice, add some intrigue, and I don't have that irritable of a gut, so I have the opportunity to incorporate spices and things like that into my diet. So I'm very lucky there. I can't eat too much spice though, otherwise my skin flares up. But again, getting off track. Wind it up, Grace. Spices, yeah, they're probably, I don't even know how I would cook without spices because I think I would just be so bored. The last one I've got on here, these ones, they are I'm going to say it wrong. I hate butchering names of things, but the puka teas, I have them at night before I go to bed sometimes, and it really helps me wind down and relax before I go to sleep. My favorite ones are the matcha, green matcha tea, the wonderberry green, and the elderberry and echinacea. So all three of those my mum got me onto. Thank you, Justine. It's just a great way to sip on something and feel like you're getting a bit of like taste to it without having juice or coffee or anything like that. I will say one thing I forgot to put on here is cacao powder. Use it all the time in baking. It's insane. I use it so much. So cacao powder is definitely one of my staples. So I was having these like gluten-free English muffins, and they were so good. Like I could barely tell that they were gluten-free. They just tasted like an English muffin. So those were nice as well. But this is just my pantry staples. So if you would like to see like a grocery staples or a grocery haul, let me know, because if you're into this kind of stuff, then I would obviously love to supply that to you. But I think that is about all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me and watching all the way through. I really appreciate your support and your love. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below of what videos you want to see from me next. And please make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you next week.